Hi, it's Maureen. Welcome back to my channel. Although this is my June setup, it can be used for any month. So let's get started with a flip through. I haven't been on since April, I think. So I'm going to show you my April pages and my May, and then we'll get started with the June. I have already filmed my July. I will be editing that and sharing that very soon. As we jump into it, I want to give a shout out to Kennedy. Kennedy is one of my viewers. She likes to watch my channel. Her mom recently helped my husband out with a little problem. So hello, Kennedy. For this layout, I am going to be using the Citrus Blooms stamp set from Stampin' Up that you just saw, some Daffodil Delight ink, Pumpkin Pie ink, and then also Old Olive ink. I'll be using some Memento as well. To get started, since this is a big stamp, I am going to lay the stamp down and then ink it up and then stamp there at the top. I am adding in a quick hello to the bottom right under my oranges. This stamp set is one that reminds me of Italy, and I just had lunch with my friend Trish, and she said the same thing, that it reminds her of Italy. It's a lot of fun, even though you know, you could also make this lemons. I have it as oranges. So what I am doing is I'm using my watercolor painter, and I am getting ink from inside of the lid of my ink pad, and I am just coloring in this orange, and I'm going to do that for the other oranges as well. I like to go back after it dries a little bit to just layer on a little more, just to give it the color a little variation. So it's not just one hue, but you have some degrees to the color, I suppose. So I'm going to color in the oranges, and then I am also going to be coloring or painting, I guess it's watercoloring, painting, all of that. So watercoloring the leaves as well as those flowers. And I'm going to take some creative license here. So the flowers probably would be white with just a yellow center, but for interest and just, you know, to make my page look more nice, I guess, make it look nicer, I decided just to color the whole flower yellow. So instead of having just a yellow center, I'm coloring the flower yellow. So it takes a little bit of time to do this. I think as we go on, I'm not going to show myself color painting the complete image on the other pages, but I thought to start, I wanted to show you how I go through and I sort of line where the artist has made lines in the artwork. I paint that first, and then I go back and try to paint the rest of it a little bit lighter, trying to make it look more authentic. But when you are coloring, it's, you know, it's whatever you make it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is showing your own artistic creation, and that is what I'm doing. So I'm just coloring it in, or painting, watercoloring it to make it mine. I'm also going to watercolor the stem. I'm going to use Pecan Pie ink and watercolor the stem in just a little bit. But that is what I am doing here. All right, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit while you watch me paint. Summer is here, and I've mentioned before that I am a teacher, so this is probably, I mean, I love teaching, I love the children and all of that, but I also love summer. So I'm enjoying this time of the year to just refresh, regenerate, get myself revigorated, so that when it's time to go back to work, I will be relaxed and ready for them. So here I am just stamping, I don't even know what these are. They're like little diamonds or something. It's just a little extra. And sometimes too much can be too much, and I think I overdid it, but that's all right. Now I'm moving on to my calendar page. My calendar, as always, the boxes or squares are 5 by 5. I already created the outline here. I am adding a drop shadow. I am going to stamp on the right side some more of those oranges. When I originally stamped just one orange, or one set of the oranges, because the stamp has 3 oranges on it, I decided that wasn't enough, so then I wanted to stamp another one. So I inked it up again and stamped it down, and that's why now I have 2 sets there. It just made the page look more full. And so now I'm going in and watercoloring all of that as well. At the top, you can see where I wrote the days of the week with just the initial, writing that with a marker and then tracing that with black pen. It just makes that pop out just a little bit more. That if you trace anything, I think with black, it makes it just pop out, just gives it an extra little oomph. So I like to do that every now and then. And here I am doing my watercoloring on the side of this page. And I think this might be my favorite page of all the pages for this particular month, just because I like having the oranges on top of the oranges, which makes it look like they're real, even though they're just a stamped image. But I love this stamp set. If you've been watching my channel, you have seen that I have created some cards using this same stamp set. It's called Citrus Blooms. It's a bundle. And a bundle means that there's a stamp set and there's also dies that go along with it. And with the dies, it makes it possible to then punch out the, or die cut the images. So I could stamp that image of the 3 oranges with the leaves and the flowers, and then I could die cut that out and add that to a page. So look on my channel and you will see, and actually I'll link it here, to a link to the video where I create cards using this same stamp set. So you can see how you can use this for planning and then also for creating cards. So I hope you'll check that out. So you can see I'm finishing the oranges. It's taking a little bit of time. Next I'll be going in and I'm not sure if I'm going to do the leaves next or the flowers. At some point I get smarter and I start doing it from lightest to darker. So I don't think I've done that yet. So I think the leaves are next and then the flowers will be last. But eventually I'm going to change it up with my water paint coloring, and I'm going to start coloring the flowers first, then the oranges, and then the leaves, just to make it go from light to dark. But here I am coloring in those leaves, again tracing that outline that the artist created, and then coloring it in, trying to have some lighter areas and darker areas just to give it a more authentic look. And that is it. You'll just see me watercoloring here. This is a lot of fun. It does take some time to do, but it is a fun thing to sit and do. Oftentimes when I am creating these pages, I am watching something on my iPad, so I could be watching a movie or binging a series or something. So it's fun to do that, to watercolor and watch TV at the same time. So that's what I'm doing. I am just thinking about how I'm almost finished this bullet journal. So this bullet journal, as I've said before, my bullet journal goes from September to September because I like to make it coincide with the school year. And so this is my June setup. I already have my July done. So I really only have one more to put into this book before I jump to a new book. And I'm trying to figure out which one that's going to be. I have like 4 that are waiting in the wings for me to figure out what I want to use. I really like these. I've been using the, what is this? And I always say this word wrong. The Leuchtturm journals, the Leuchtturm 1917 second edition bullet journal. I love the paper. It's nice and smooth, and also I can watercolor on it and it doesn't bleed through. Now, if I were to get the page super wet, then yes, it would bleed through. But with what I'm doing here with this watercoloring and even coloring over some parts of it, it doesn't bleed through. So you'll see when I turn the page, I'm good to go. So I really like this page. I forget how thick it is. I probably could look and see and let you know, but this is my favorite bullet journal of all the ones that I've used so far. So, oh, I think I know what I'm going to do. They have a green one, and I have the green one. I think green is going to be my next one because that is one of my favorite colors. All right, this page is taking a while. I am now working on the flowers here. You know, things don't happen fast all the time, but I hope you're enjoying watching the watercoloring. And now I'm going to watercolor the stem, and we are just about done with this page. I think I still have to add numbers to the calendar, and that should be it. Oh, and I'm going to write June at the top. So just a couple of more things to add. And then I think I'm also going to stamp some flowers in yellow. Yep, right there, just to balance out the page. Even though I have a lot of oranges there, I wanted to add a little bit more to make it connect to the rest of the page. So there are my flowers, and now I'm going to write June. I am using an Old Olive, that's the color, Stampin' Write marker. These markers are amazing. They are double tipped or dual tipped, and they have more of a fine nib on one side and then a brush on the other side. And so you can use the thicker side or the thinner side. And I used the thicker side for all of my writing today. And now I am using a different marker to write the numbers. Okay, now we are off to the next page, and here I am working on my gratitude page, which is my one line a day. I am just stamping one orange there. So this stamp set has a few different images. There's one where there's just the single orange or lemon, because you can make it a lemon if you want. And then there's the image where there are 3 of them. So it's very versatile, I guess. You can, stamp the one that fits best on your page. So for this one, I decided just to stamp one and then color it in. And you can see I think I started doing light to dark here. And I'm coloring it in, and next I will be numbering the side of the page. And here we go. I'm adding my yellow flowers. The yellow flowers do add a lot to the page. They're pretty light. I don't know if you can see them very well, but it does just make it all connect. So I have that one image at the top and then the flowers along the side to make it all go together. All right, now I am writing the word gratitude, and then I'm going to write one line a day. These are new markers that I found. I'm sure I found them from someone else, but I really like them. The marker I'm using now, it is called a liquid Fineliner. It's by Writech, and I'm sure I got it on Amazon. I will also link this in the description, and it comes in a pack of maybe 6. So there's a 02, 03, 05, and for the numbering, I am either using a 02 or a 03. And I really like the tip of it, and I also love it because it is a waterproof pigment ink. So when I am tracing something, I can then go color on top of it and it will not smear, and that is so important to me. You can see that I just colored in my every other line, or highlighted my every other line for my one line a day. I love doing that. It helps so that the page is not just a white page, but it gives it some interest there. On the right side, I am doing a whole new setup. I reversed what I wanted to write. I wanted to put schools out on the left and then summer's coming on the right, but my brain was watching television, so I reversed it. But that's fine. On the left where summer's coming, I'm going to make a list of the things I need to do to get ready for summer. On the right for schools out, I'm making a list of things that I have to do to get ready for the end of the school year. Because for the end of the school year, teachers have things we have to do. There are forms we have to fill out, observation forms, goals forms, things like that. We have to also clean up our room, box things up, and create like a diagram of our space so that when the custodians clean the room, they know how to put your furniture back. So I have a list of all those kinds of things there. And now I am moving to the last setup that I'm sharing with you here. This is my 2-page, 2-week weekly, because I like to do it that way, to save paper, which I think I probably don't need to because I have a lot of pages left in this book. But I am putting 1 week on the left and a different week on the right. And I'm using my markers here just to write the day of the week. And I decided to trace this one in Old Olive ink instead of the basic black. I think, not basic black, but instead of the black marker, I wanted to use green more. So that is why I did that. And I am almost finished this page. I always make my weeklies go faster because I figure you're probably tired of watching by now. So I speed this one up. So just the days of the week. The bottom box is for the weekend. Instead of having a Saturday and Sunday box, I just combine it. On the left, I'm putting a to-do. On the right, I'm putting a to-do. And we are almost done with this one. Again, I'm highlighting every other line because that is what I love to do. I just like to fill the spaces in. I hope you've enjoyed watching this plan with me for June. Even though it's June, remember this could be your July, this could be your August, this could be your September, like whatever you want it to be. Maybe not December, but it could be so many different months. Even though it's late, it's still very useful, I hope, to you. I'm going to do a flip through. Thank you for tuning in. Please give this a like, click that thumbs up, subscribe so you can find out when I release my next video, which I hope will be soon. All right, also click the bell. And until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.